Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is the Danish Deception part 5. So that means if you've not seen the other parts, just go and start from part 1. This is a part 5. It is a story that you need to follow sequentially. If not, you will miss some third bit information. So if you are up to date, let's get right into this.
Danish Deception Part 5. Okay, so he comes out of the baggage claim past customs, and I see him, and immediately I'm hit with a realization that I've got it so bad. And if you've never been in love before, falling in love for the first time is like getting swallowed by a current, and you don't even know it's there, and you're good one moment, and then before you realize it, you're in deep and there's nothing you can do to control it. And that's how I felt. And I knew this man has the power to destroy me, and that was exhilarating but also terrifying at the same time. And I was just really excited to integrate him with my people, and most importantly, I was excited for him to meet Smokey, who is just my world. And watching the way he was with Smokey, they instantly became best friends, and Smokey grew really attached to him. And I mean, I knew I had fallen in love with him, but I realized I hadn't even scratched the surface when I saw him with Smokey. And so we did a lot of things that trip. So we went to a Cowboys game, we went to a retirement party for a partner at my accounting firm, we went to a couple dinners, and then we also just stayed at home. I cooked a lot. I remember I made him red stew and rice, which is my favorite Nigerian food. It's a staple. And
When people in diaspora say red stew, the Nigerian game will never understand that red stew. Which one is red stew? And the way some you say red rice. It's jollof. Jollof. Well, now I feel like eating stew. Like white rice with beans, live chicken. And stew. Well fried stew. I feel like eating it right now.
I put a lot of habanero peppers, and I remember being nervous, like, can he handle spice? And he ate it and he loved it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this white boy loves spice. This is perfect. And everything just felt like, again, it felt like everything was aligning. And so I wanted to plan something special for him to meet all of my close friends and family. And so I was like, oh, well, maybe we can go meet for a drink. And he said, you know, like, we can go out to eat. I'll pay for everything. I was like, are you sure? He said, absolutely. So I planned a brunch, and we went to brunch here in Dallas, and it was a handful of my really close friends, and my 2 sisters were there, and my cousin and his now wife was there too. So we sit down at brunch, and everyone's like asking him questions, and everyone is just so impressed by him. Again, we're dealing with someone that's very charming, very charismatic. And the thing about my ex is when you meet him, he's so good at asking questions, and he's good at listening. And so it's really easy to get into good conversation with him, and it's really easy to connect with him. And so we had a great brunch. I remember I was like in the bathroom, and my friends followed me, and they're like, oh my gosh, he's amazing. Like, we're so happy for you. And I just, I was so grateful to call him mine. And so after brunch, we go grab a drink at a place nearby the restaurant. And at that point, we're all just kind of like chit-chatting, and my cousin and my ex are having a conversation. And this cousin is like a second brother to me. We're very close, and I desperately wanted to get the stamp of approval from him. And so obviously they're shooting their shit, and I'm eavesdropping on the conversation 100%, and because I can. And I'm like overhearing them just like, talking about random stuff. And then I hear my cousin ask him, you just have the build of an athlete. Did you play sports? And my ex goes, yeah, I actually played handball. And my cousin goes, isn't that an Olympic sport? And my ex goes, yeah, I actually went to the Olympics twice. And I immediately inserted myself into the conversation. I go, you went to the Olympics? What? And he goes, you know what? I was like the backup of the backup. I didn't even play. I don't like to brag about it because I don't think it's that big of a deal. I was like, well, did you get medals? He was like, yeah, I got a bronze and I got a gold. I was like, well, that's amazing. Like, I'm so impressed. And so now I'm thinking, this man is so humble. So let's add humble to the list of all the reasons why he's such an amazing man. So obviously we had a wonderful trip. He came to Dallas again. I did not spend any money while he was here. I obviously paid money for groceries when he wasn't around, but other than that, he wanted to pay for everything. He didn't even want me to pay for ice cream, small things. He was like, I want to treat you. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So I remember he was leaving to go back to Denmark, and I was so depressed. And if anyone has been in a long distance relationship, you know how difficult it is to say goodbye. And so I was so depressed, and I'm saying goodbye to him at the airport. I'm bawling my eyes out. We finally say goodbye. He goes through security. I go home, and I just am crying for like hours. I'm so depressed. And I remember I was supposed to go to a birthday party that night, and I texted my friend and was like, I literally cannot stop crying, so I can't go to this birthday, and I hate canceling things. And so that's how bad it was. I was actually depressed for literally days. And after he got through security, he was like, I can't even walk to the terminal. Like, I'm so depressed. Like, I just want to walk back out and just come back to you. And
the way people easily use the word depression when they're saying something, it's okay, you feel sad because your boyfriend has come back and you wish you were with him, all true. Was she really depressed? See the way we now throw that word around as if it's one simple thing. Oh, I'm depressed. Everybody, I'm depressed. Ha! I don't wish that you get depressed.
I was like, I want that too. And he said, we need to start having the hard conversations on like what we want for the future. And I said, absolutely. And so he was like, we need to decide whether or not we're going to live in Denmark or live in Dallas. And I still can't believe this came out of my mouth, but I told him, I said, listen, I know you already have like a very much established career. And so if you want me to move to Denmark, I'm more than happy to have that conversation with you and like discuss it. And he said, looking at you with your friends and your family this past week has made me realize that I don't want to take that away from you. And you're really close with your parents. They're driving distance away. And like, I live in Copenhagen. My family lives in my hometown in Aalborg, which is hours away. I don't have family in Copenhagen, and I want us to be around family, especially like if we're talking about having kids one day. Like, I want that support, and I want you to be around the people that you love. And so I was so happy because realistically, I did not want to move to Denmark.
Maybe because I know the relationship has gone south. Maybe that's why I'm thinking the way I'm thinking now. Because in a normal circumstances, a man that's ready to do that for a woman, he said, "Oh my God, he's everything." But now knowing the way the story, I've not heard the end, but knowing that she said he's bad, more bad than Legion. So I'm using that story to now judge the man. He was playing so well. Man, that man is good. He's so good. What? He wanted to bring her all in so that she will know she will never doubt him no matter what. It's good.
Mark, and so I was so happy that this man is willing to give up everything to be with me. So I was so excited about that. So he was gone for about 3 weeks to a month at this point, and he hadn't booked his flight back to Dallas yet, and then he booked it on like a Thursday, I remember it. So now we're in the middle of October of 2022. He books his flight and he said, okay, I'm coming next week, Wednesday. And I said, okay, perfect. And I'm getting all excited again. And so I called him Friday morning, and keep in mind that there's a time difference. So it's like about 7 hours. So whenever I wake up at like 5 or 6, he's basically halfway through his day. And so I called him that Friday and I said, hey, like, how's your day been? He's like, it's been such a stressful, intense day. I go, what happened? And he's like, I found out that the apartment complex that I bought is dealing with some major foundation issues. Like, it could affect safety of the tenants, and I'm really stressing out and I need to get it fixed. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, did you schedule the repair? He's like, not yet. It's going to cost like a hefty chunk of change. I was like, how much is it going to cost? He's like, $50,000. I was like, $50,000? What? Like, that's obviously a lot of money. I'm sure it's a lot of money to a lot of you. It's a lot of money to me. And so I was like, okay, like, what's the plan? He's like, I mean, I have a good portion of it, so I just need to ask my dad for a little bit of a loan. And so I remember being like, I could never in a million years ask my dad for a loan of $50,000. So at this point, I was aware of the fact that like they had this royal title, they had this family trust that like, and like the family had money. I didn't really know like how much or the details behind it, but he told me he was going to call his dad and ask him for a loan. So a couple hours go by, he calls me and he's really upset. He's like, I talked to my dad on the phone. He will not loan me the money. He says, I've been acting super irresponsible, traveling, doing all these things. And so he just doesn't want to He thinks I need to like learn from my actions, and if I'm not prepared for something like this, then there's nothing he can do to help me. And so I felt really bad for him because he essentially felt like his dad was abandoning him, and I felt really bad for him. And so I said, what's the plan? He's like, I'll figure it out. Like, even if I have to like sell some things, like I'll figure it out. And I was like, okay, well, keep me updated, like whatever you need. And so a couple days go by and he's communicating that he's still stressed out about coming up with this money. And so I said, you know what, like I can loan you the money. And so at this point I had paid off my student loans, paid off my car, bought a house. Like had a decent savings. I was in a really, really good financial position. And so I wanted to help him, especially because like this man has like treated me so well and done so much for me. And I truly felt like we were in a partnership, especially like when you're talking about the future with someone. And so I told him, like, let me loan it to you. He goes, I would never in a million years borrow money for you. And I was like, it's okay. Like, I don't mind helping. He's like, that's like not even a discussion I want to have. And I said, okay, that's fine. So a couple of days go by and he's still stressing out about coming up with this money. I asked him, like, how much do you need? He's like, it's 10,000 I need. And I was like, again, like, let me loan it to you. He said, no, I'm not taking money from you. And then a couple of days go by and he says, okay, like now I need 6K. And I was like, okay, again, let me give it to you. He's like, no, I still don't want to take money from you. And then basically like the day, like 2 days before he's supposed to come to Dallas, he tells me, he says, just letting you know, I'm not be able to come to Dallas because I need to figure out this issue. And I'm at this point I start freaking out. So I'm like, no, like I 100% like want you to come still. Just let me loan you the money so that you'll be fine and we can, you know, be happy and be together. And so after some thinking, he was like, okay, fine, I will borrow the money from you, but you have to promise me that this will be the only time and that you're 100% comfortable with giving me this money. And I said, absolutely, I'm 100% comfortable. And we will continue on in part 6.
And to be honest, guys, let me not lie to you. So many things are coming to my head. I know there are men that, especially if the man was in the position he was, based off the story she's saying so far, like he's from a royal family, so he's bound to have people in his circle that, you know, because he's a businessman, so he's bound to know where to get a loan from. Let's be honest. So that shouldn't have been a huge problem the way it is, the way he's making it. So oh, he's stressed, he's that. A serious businessman of that caliber would have known what to do, would have known who to get the money from. Then on the other hand, I just want to put myself in a shoe. If it were to be me and a man is that good to me and I have that money, I would give it to him. So I don't see it as a bad thing from my own side, because that's who she is. Like, I can't be in a relationship with you and you need money, I have it, and I won't give it to you. So what are we doing if I can't give you my money because, oh, I'm a woman, I shouldn't give a man my money? Then what am I doing with you if I expect you to help me out and I cannot help you? It doesn't really make sense to me. I know some lady will say that, but just because I know that there's a problem, that's why I know that he's intentionally doing or pulling all that stunts to appear that, oh, he didn't want to take this money. I forced him to take the money. The guy is very good. I will give it to him. He's so good. Well, let's go to part 6. Guys, see you in part 6.